project. We're sitting in the subject's granddaughter's front room in Diamond Bar, California. Do you agree to participate in this interview?
Yes, I sure do.
Great, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. We're really excited about hearing about all your adventures and your experiences and just your life. So let's just talk about your parents. What did they do?
Well, my parents, as I can remember, since I was way as young as a year and a half old, I remember a lot of memories on there, and they were. But the main ones is that my parents were. Start with my mother. She was very kind and a very hardworking woman, and very clean, neat.
What kind of
And
work did she do?
she was at that time she was only a housewife,
Oh, okay.
and and also my father, he was also very good and hardworking and uh, and also very strict. So I had to watch my step, and I did. I only went over it once that I recall. Yeah, well, that was the my early childhood, and also I remember some little uh happening that happened at those times. If I will be able to.
About with your parents?
Yeah, when I was a little
Okay, well,
baby.
share them with us. We want to hear
Yeah,
about you and your daily life with your parents.
yeah. For first, the first time that I remember was when you're young, your parents usually put you in between the bed between both of the parents so that you won't roll over and fall on the ground.
Okay.
Well, that's what happened, and one of the times I just stood up like I'm sitting down on the bed, and I spoke some words out that I didn't even know what they were, and I couldn't even talk well. But anything, what I said was 4,000 pesos en la medida del agua, which is $4,000 in the water meter. And I couldn't say nothing. But anyhow, I went back to sleep. My parents ignored it. Went to sleep again, and again I got up again and repeat the whole thing loud and clear. And they said, "Este muchachito, I don't know what's wrong with the little muchachito, I can't even talk, and right now he's talking real clear, words that he don't even know." Anyhow, so that happened, and they forgot about it, and after that, I recall one of the times that, this is what I remember when I got lost the first time. I was about, I think maybe 2.5 years old or three. The thing happened is that my father was visiting one of my aunts. It was my aunt Jesusita. Used to live on Park Street somewhere, and that I went with my father, and then he left to work, and I didn't know he was going to work. He was going to pick me up later. So I followed him. I kept walking and walking and walking, and I finally got tired and sit down on the curb. The curb looked about that big. I sit down there, and what I remember that some good person picked me up and took me to a child care center. So everything was fine, and while that took place, I don't know what I did. That one of the nurses hit me on my bottom, bam, and I started crying like a fire agent. Boy, they didn't know how to stop me. Even the man the man or the nurse in charge came over and he was yelling so loud. He said, "Who's spanking?" I said, "No, I don't know." Anyhow, I'm blabbing and blabbing until one of the nurses uh, brought me a couple of slices of bread with a glass of milk and more and everything. Then I just got it and shut up. I ate the bread and the milk and no more, nothing or nothing. Well, finally, and my father came and picked me up and took me home. And says, "Good thing they shot me up before he came. Otherwise, he'd probably be hysterical." So at the end of that chapter.
So how did your dad know where to find you?
Well, obviously he was looking for the cops and all that, see where I was at, and they finally they gave him that's the closest place where your son could be in that child care center. And yeah, he picked me up, and boy, I was in his arms walking home, and it was like fine. And then also remember another time.
Well, when you got home, what happened? Did they were they mad at you, or were they happy that they found
Well, they were so happy that that they found me that I felt happy too because I was lost, and it was all to a misunderstanding. I kept on walking, going into my father, and that wasn't the thing. He was going to work,
you?
and I got completely lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also another incident in there that we used to live right right next door to a bakery, and some of the workers left a ladder going up to the roof, and it was a little strip, So, and I saw a big, I think it was 2x6 board, from one roof in our house going over to the roof of the bakery. So I saw that ladder that left up there. I crawled up the ladder, and then got on that board, and I was going to the bakery via the roof. And I was going, on my head. Finally, one of my left foot slipped up like that, man, and I grabbed on that 2x6 board, yelling all kind of mercy and all that. And then when they're trying to take me off, they couldn't because I was tied up to the.
Who was trying to take you off?
Oh, the firemen and then people.
Also, a lot of people heard you. It was a big deal.
Yeah. Well, the firemen up there, and they were the ones that finally went and took me off. Finally went and got my hands over the board, and then I come down. I was like a monkey there. Like,
how old were you?
Oh, I just hit me about 4 or something like that.
And what did your parents say?
Well, they were so scared that they got me and hugged me and said, "Don't ever do that again." And I said, okay. I was all crying. Yeah.
Can you tell me? You mentioned that your dad was really strict.
Oh yeah,
Example of what his teachings were. Describe how he was strict.
Well, my father was a man like he would say, bring in the wood for chopping with little, or and he would say one time. The second time it was not a command. It was the belt. So we usually click on the first command. And well, I didn't get too many whappings. My brother got more wacky than I did because I said, no, one is in the more. Yeah. And they were the strictest, but as far as my father, like that, only as a worker, or he would do work out of anything. He'd make them work in there, and that the way my father was. Sometimes I went with him, and
when you went with him, what did you see him do, or what kind of things did you do with him?
Well, there was up and a little later. I'll bring that, but there was another circumstances that came up too on this because one time, like the icebox cars that are refrigeration. On that time, they used to be refrigerated by ice. I don't know if they're still doing. Yeah, the train boxcar for moving like fresh produce or meat. Anyhow, so me and my brother went up, opened up on the top opening of that door. We got in there into a freezing into the where the ice was kept. Great big things in there. We walked in there, and then somebody closed the door, the top door. Man, I was jumping on there, hitting my thing on the thing, and I got it in my. Good thing my brother Francisco, told me, "Oh, quit bumping your head in it. Somebody will open the door." And then I quit. Man, I had a sore head, and finally somebody did open the door. I said, "Boy," says, "otherwise I would be here telling the story."
How old were you?
I think it's around that area, about 4.5 years old.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you?
You gonna return it back?
No. Can you tell me? we had talked earlier about when you went with your dad to work. You
Yes.
would call him?
Well, actually, it was work because he made his own work.
What do you mean?
Well, see, he just got pick up a gunny stack and put some tools in there, like a big scraper,
Mm-hmm.
and come on, let's go and make the money. And went and walked all the way up to Mount Franklin,
Mm.
and then he said, "See those plants over there? There were some plants that were real pointed, uh, and they he used to call them lengua de vaca, which is a cow's tongue.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we're gonna get all of this ones, and then what you're gonna do is hold this sharp knife in there." And he put the leaves on top of the rock, and then I put the knife on top of it, and he would pull that thing off and get all the peeling off of there, and leave nothing but little strands, like
Like the thread look.
yeah,
Like.
the thread from the leaves, a lot of them, and then they put a lot more of those and stop.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
Yeah, and yeah, we got a whole bunch of those pile. It made a big pile up like that. And okay, so we're through. Half a day doing it. So it says,
Where did
okay,
you
look,
find the plants at?
and they're wild up on the mountains, on the Rocky Mountains,
All right.
down in there. That was Mount Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
So he filled up the sack and we went home. And then when he got home, he cut off the base of the handle. He was pulling up the leaf, and left nothing but the little strands, which were like strands were sticking together. And then he started taking them all apart like that and making them all fluffy up, made a big fluffy stuff of all of it. He said, I couldn't tell what it was. He said, well, now we're going to make some of those pan scratchers.
Oh.
So I said, there's the way you do it. Got a whole bunch of them like that and start doing like that, make them like a donut about like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that's good enough. Line them up, we stack them all up in there. And he was quite a bunch. So then, well, that is now what I got to do. So I got to go sell them. And then he'd go sell them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, a penny each. There was a lot of them. I think it was almost about 100 of them. So a penny each. And then those days it was good money.
And who did he sell them to?
Door to door.
Oh, neighbors. Mm-hmm.
Right. He had experience in there. If you like to know about that experience, but this is what he said.
What kind of experience?
Well, he used to sell bread for the bakery.
Is that what was that his like real job?
That was his real job.
I see. Okay.
And
Where did he do the baking or he just sold it? What did he do?
No, he was just a salesman for the bread.
Oh, okay. So he would come in the early morning to do work?
He'll come in and fill up two great big baskets, one for the left hand and one for the right hand. Big basket, all full of pan dulce, and each pan dulce was 1 penny. I don't know how he'd do it. He'd get it like this. In the morning, he'd walk all the way down El Paso to the Bowie High School. They kept on going to East El Paso, and then about 2 o'clock or something in the afternoon, he coming back with a basket empty in the pocket full of pennies and nickels. So that's what he was doing, and he did a good job on it, but I don't know how he did it.
That's hard work because he would walk.
Yeah, carrying those things, and they were heavy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And your mom, she stayed home. What
Yeah.
kind of things did she do when she stayed home? Like, did she?
Well, she do the regular housework, do the house chores, and at the same time they were not as they are now, especially when it was in the winter time, and we were supposed to be taking a bath. I said, boy, in those days to take a bath in the winter time, it was about an hour and a half struggle. You had to do one person because it was so cold, and the only running water was outside. We had to go outside and get a paddle of water, fill up a tub, cold water and then put the other water on the wood stove to get it hot. And then when it got the right temperature, after that we took a bath in a big pan like the one I used to. I mean,
Like a tina?
bucket, tina, and well, that was the going thing around those days, and that's one of the things that she did. Besides that, she used to take care of the clothes, the good meals, everything she used to cook, both from scratch.
Mm.
Used
What was
to
your
do.
favorite food?
Well, I have a food favorite, one favorite, but I didn't get that favorite too much because, well, there was not that much money. It was cornflakes.
Oh, cereal?
Yeah, and then that we used to get that only, I don't know, once in a long time when my father got some extra money because we always used to get 3 minute oats all the time with even sometimes with powdered milk because it was kind of rough anyhow,
Mm-hmm.
and all the rest of it she used stuff. But that was the main one that I used to like because we never could get that only on special occasions. Otherwise, it was 3 minute oats.
What was a special occasion?
Well, when my father had some extra money, and that's when he used to use an special occasion because there was some in there, and my mom wouldn't make 3 minute oats. We were sick of 3 minute oats.
But what would like if he like let's say he went and he sold all the pan scrubbers. Would he go out and buy the cornflakes then, or would he wait for a special occasion and then say, "Oh, it's special, so here's the saved up money"? What would he do?
No, well, that one, when I'm thinking about the pen scratchers, it was at a later time. But when you're thinking about the bread sales, it was much earlier. It was when I was really small. When I when I went with him a little later, I think it was about maybe 10 or 11, 12 years old. But at the other time, I was about 4 or 5 years old.
Okay, so the
On a bakery.
scrapers were 12 years old around there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, what was a special occasion in your house?
Oh, it would be Christmas
Mm-hmm.
and well, I guess just that usually at the younger age that usually was my only thing is being being taken being taken care of by my parents with all the things that are needed, and I don't recall any other special thing like well, there was one, no.
Hmm.
But he would tell the pan dulce. He would all of us. He would put a big fat cup of coffee for us three little bears, and four big bread like that. And then he put the finest looking bread up on the three pile. He put three piles, one for my brother Francisco and Luis, and one for me. So the really good, sweet and eye opening bread was right on top. But we were early uppers, or we didn't get up that early. My little brother did get early. By the time we get up, all the three little breads they were on top of that. We got three breads each, and they were huge bread. Okay, so he get up in the morning, get the three good looking ones from mom and put them on his, and they gets up for us. We didn't know what was going on, so we got out. Hey, let's go eat our pan dulce, and coffee and all that. And then until one time we come, hey, no wonder we never saw any of the good bread. He said, well, how do you know you care?
How did you find out?
I don't know if I got one time I got early and saw him in there switching breads.
And your parents didn't say anything, or what did they think?
No, well, no, they just said, he says, you're a naughty boy. That's about all. And
Tell me about your family, because we talked about your parents. Can you tell us if you had any brothers and sisters and give us the names and how old they were compared to you? Older, younger?
Yeah, my oldest brother's name is Francisco Juarez, and he was the one that I mentioned earlier. And also, my other brother is Luis Juarez. He was my younger brother, and we were both very, very close. And if something happens, since we were so close together, I remember one time that my oldest brother was playing with a big tire, a car tire, and in those times, a car tire is worth a lot, even if it was only for playing. So a big bully came over there and beat him up and took his tire away. So me and my little boy, little trim, he was in a diaper, and we went right in after that big bully. We tried to push him and kick him and all that, but we finally decided, we finally knocked him down. When we knocked him down, then we all really ganged up on him. But three of us, man, yeah. And then, he left the tire, and then he got up. We went home running. He never bothered us again. Yeah, that was the bully. And but we were really close. And
Could you tell me, you mentioned earlier that times were hard and that it was a treat to have the special bread, the sweet ones, and your dad, was trying to get extra money by making work out of things, Did you guys have to struggle economically? Or was everyone poor in your neighborhood like you were? How was it?
Well, at that time, America was poor, almost dirt poor. But we weren't that poor because of my father and my mother they do it some way or another to make money to keep us clothes and good food and not $1 million food, but in good health. And but times are very rough. And if I could tell you how rough they were,
yeah, please.
Well, I remember that. Anyhow, there was a little bit when I was growing up a little more. We used to go to school barefooted, and sometimes we had shoes, but they were usually only used for going to church. But they didn't last that long anyhow. So I remember one time that I was going to school barefooted, and it was a really bitter cold winter, and there was even mud puddles that were frozen, and I had to go around them barefooted. And going to school, I saw a pair of shoes down there, and so I went and tried them all, and they fitted perfect. So the only thing wrong with them is that they had holes right in the bottom. Mm-hmm. So after I put them on, I felt my feet felt really, really warm, and I went to school with shoes, and I was even showing off shoes in there. So anyhow, when I went home, my father said, "Hey, where you got the?" Well, but somebody threw them away. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna take it to the zapatero, to the shoe shop maker," and he put soles on it, and boy, I had shoe for the rest of the year. Yeah, I remember the topic I was on.
Mm-hmm. When you guys, let's see, we were talking about the shoes. How your dad got them resold.
Yeah, I got the shoes resold, and as I said, I had shoes for the rest of the year. I had my feet were warm, and I was really whistling Yankee Doodle like, and real happy, and because otherwise the only thing my parents could afford was tennis shoes, and they were about $1.95 or less.
You mentioned that when you had usually shoes, besides when you found it that one year, but you said you did have shoes to wear to church.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So if you wear them only, why did you only wear them to church instead of every day at school?
They would last a lot longer.
So you would wear them once a week instead of every day.
Yeah. Well, that's when I still had the shoes, but when they were wore out, barefooted.
Yeah.
I remember I used to step on the splinters in there, I used to scrape my foot in there, and it'd be okay.
How old were you when your parents passed away?
Well, when my mother passed away, it was in 1940.
So you,
I was 12 years old.
What did she die of?
That I don't know.
Nobody told you?
No, the nurses will. All they would say is that she was doing better. That's about all. I knew nothing about that then.
Was she in the hospital?
Yeah, she was in the hospital, General Hospital in El Paso. Paso General Hospital.
For a long time, or?
Well, she got put in there for, let's see, in 1940. Yeah, I think it was in the summertime, but it must have been 3 or 4 months. But once she went to the hospital, she never came back because she passed away.
In the hospital?
Yeah.
So was she in there a long time? Like,
Oh, it's about 6 months.
oh, she was.
They couldn't find out what it was. That they would say any old thing, the way they do. Yeah, she passed away, and
how about your father? When did he pass away?
yeah, my father passed away in 1941. 1 year after my mother passed away, sometime in March of 1941.
Do you know how he died?
No, I guess he must have had a stomach problems, but he never complained or nothing. And he would never go to doctors because we could never afford doctors, even when we were little children. But the only thing I can remember is one time in the afternoon that he went to sleep, and then the following morning he just never woke up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to call him and tried to wake him up, and then he was a terrible feeling.
Oh, yeah. That's really sad. You were pretty young. 13?
Yeah, 13.
Wow. So who raised you when you were 13?
No, at 13,
What happened?
we still kept on supporting ourselves. We would pick cotton and all anything we could do, or chew chine or anything, and it was like that until later on that year the war broke out, and so we were supporting ourselves.
So would you still be in school?
Yeah, we were still in school until I think a little bit before my brother was going to be drafted into the army when he was 18. But since we were younger, those were the last day of picking cotton and all that, because he called our relatives in the city of Marfa, Texas, to come and pick us up. So they did. They came and pick us up, and we were real sorry that we were going to be leaving our hometown, our house. And so we did. They took us on the old Model A, pat, 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 pat. All the way, it seemed to us that we were never going to be home because we're going 35 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour in a stretch of almost 200 miles. But it took a long time.
Yeah. So, you moved from one city then to another.
Yes.
It was a brand new city. From which city to which city?
It was from El Paso, Texas to Marfa, Texas.
Oh, I see. And when you were in El Paso, Texas, let's talk about your education there first. Can you tell me what was school like?
Yeah, school was real good. I remember that in those days you were really going on the on your grades a little at a little earlier age because I don't know what. Because I remember when I was uh getting there, I started at Alamo School. I think it was the first grade or the second grade because I started school in another school, elementary school, and was it was AOI school. But then when I moved, finally I got up on this other school, and it was Alamo School, and I started in this school in the first grade, and in this school, there was nothing like bilingual this and bilingual that. You go in there and you hit it. My parents didn't know how to teach us or nothing, so we had to learn from one another. And
You're talking about the language?
yeah, in school when I was in school, and we learned right off the bat, and it was hard because even though we were not the best dressed in school, we just went with the stuff that we had on, and I recall that later on after that, maybe on second grade or a little almost the third grade, they had they're gonna start uh one of those school where have the they had the school board from the student, what do you call that, the a school board well, anyhow, they were looking for candidates for president, vice president, treasurer, and all this.
Oh, it's student body government.
Yeah, the student body government. Yeah.
Okay.
So me and one of my friends is he nominated me to run for the librarian of the school. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna fix you up." I nominated him too. So everybody went. Then I got nominated, and I was chosen to be running for librarian. Heck, I didn't even know what it was anyhow, but it was a real experience because we used to go the whole group from room to room and say, "Oh, so and so is this and that, and they're very bright, intelligent," like I do in politics. So it was a great experience, but I didn't win anyhow. I didn't know what I was doing anyhow, but there was a challenge.
And what grade was that?
I think it was from the second grade to the third grade.
Do you think your education was the same as your brother's?
Yes, it was the same, but being the same, some people will grab on more than others and pay attention to it, and I was one of the persons that would pay attention to it.
Was your school segregated? Did Mexican children attend a different school than white children?
No, no. In fact, it was integrated. There was all Mexicans and a few European Americans in there.
About how many did you have?
The European Americans.
Yeah.
I think one of them there in one class where I was, there were two. And
were they treated differently at all? Or?
Oh no, we were all the same at that time. And as far as being, it was segregated because they didn't have any black in our school, only white, Mexicans and whites. And right across the on the same block there was a school for black people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they didn't attend your school at all?
No, they had their own school. Yeah, they had their own school.
I see.
We had Mexican and a few European Americans there were with us.
What were your teachers like?
Oh, usually they were good. Some one was very strict, kind of strict sometimes when they got out of turn, or get say something when you say joking or whatever, but they were real teacher. The only thing I remember, there was only one Mexican teacher and one teacher from Spain. And I still remember her name was Mrs. Ornedo. But she was straight from Spain. And they were the only two in the whole Alamo school.
Wow.
But they were all good teachers, even the math teacher. But there was also another teacher that he used to like to drink a lot, and we all knew it.
How did you know?
Well, She was always looking for a little bottle.
During class time?
Yeah, like when everybody was off, she'd go down to her and get a little sip, but nobody was it. But when they're looky somewhere, looking, hey, then she said it again. And then she had a bad accident too. And poor teacher. He was good, but I guess some people get taken by that drinking and they can get out of it. But she was good. And
So when you were in, up to what grade did you stay in school in El Paso?
I stayed long enough from when I was being transferred from the high third to the low third, because over there you have promotions twice a year. For the first section of the year is low third, and the following section is high third. You pay twice a year. So in case you're missing that one, you can only go halfway. But on over here, once a year, you flunk the whole year. But on that one, it didn't, and that's the way it was. But I remember that I was tall for my age, and I was ahead of all my classes. I was the tallest one, and but the youngest one. So one time I really got disturbed because all my friends were on the lower grade, and sure enough, says, well, I just got to act dumb so I can be left on the other grade and be up with the crowd.
Yeah.
So I did that. My parents were very angry, but they didn't know that I didn't really flunk. I just did it myself. And well, that was one of the reasons that I just got lower than that. And then after that, that's when I finally quit because every time something went wrong, the principal, Mrs. Higgins, would always go in there. Oh, I forgot one example. One time we were in a class at the geography teacher with Mrs. Galantine, her name. We're all on the blackboard, and she had done Mr. Bohem, all blonde hair, big glasses. He walking around. He walked into the class. He said, told my teacher, Mrs. Galantine, oh, all your students don't know nothing. And he said, yeah, they do. I said, no, I'm going to prove it to you. And I was standing on the board, yellow with yellow, but she had it for me. And she had a map of the world in there. And she told Mrs. Gallatin, I'm going to prove to you that this children you have don't know a single thing. So he told him, hey, you, Ruperto, what is this? And he painted that. He showed me at the picture of a world map. So she was going to be smart. I was smart too. So what is it? And I says, it's a picture. Oh, she got mad and looked at the teacher, and the teacher started smiling. She didn't know what it was. He just, what is it? I said, it's a picture. So then she shut her mouth off and walked out, and didn't pick on us anymore. And my teacher was saying, yeah, you gave a good response. That's what it was, a picture. And yeah.
Why do you think she wanted to prove that your class didn't know anything?
Well, because she used to shut down the Mexicans all the time,
And she was the principal?
Oh, yeah, all principals. In that time, that's common. And but anyhow, it was different. But every time that something would come up, and I had to be close by, I would get it. So she would always be telling me, "Look here, Ruperto, you see those two front doors on the entrance? If you don't like the school over here, all you got to do is walk right out." And but no, my parents and all this and that, and I had to bite my tongue.
Why would she tell you that? Did you have conversations with her? Or?
Well, anything would come out, I would wind up holding the stick and being blamed for it, and stuff like that. Also, like one time on one of my teachers, Mrs. Zumwalt, we were on the blackboard too, and some of the students, my classmates, made a real bad word at the call a bad word at the teacher, Mrs. Zumwalt, and she told that I did it. And yeah, right away, Mrs. He knew about it. They put me right in front of the office. Everybody comes in the bed chair with a. Oh, all I needed was a little head in there. Hey, look, he's the idiot out there. But anyhow, I was no idiot. But I was still there, and and this time, finally, somebody else told the teacher that I was not the one that was bad mouthing at the teacher. So finally, the teacher invited me to go back to her class on mathematics, because every time I had to go to her for that hour period, I had to go out and be the vago outside or fooling around in the playground until the hour was over, and then go to the following subject. But it was only for 1 week, and then she called me back to go and invited me to school and to her class, and she was very polite, and she even invited me to go to her birthday party. Mine was a little trip. Well, I was tall anyhow, but how could I go in there? I ain't no car, no nothing. So anyhow, we turned out to be very good friends, because and the first time when she found out that I thought that I did it, she opened one of her hands to slap me like that, and then I grabbed her hand, and then she opened with the other hand. I grabbed both hands like that, and I told her, I'm not gonna be slapped for something that I didn't do. He said, well, you get out of my room. All right. Put her hand down and walk out.
Wow.
But then she called me back. She's sorry that she mistook me for somebody else. And, we were great friends after that. And
what grade was this?
that was pretty close to me quitting school, 19, it had to be after the beginning of World War II, because I was still in school, but a little after that, that's when I quit school. When I graduated from the third grade, from the high third to fourth grade.
So fourth grade was the highest grade that you went to in El Paso?
Yeah.
What was the highest grade after that? Because I know you moved, right, to Marfa? Did you go to school in Marfa?
Oh, no. By then, I was a grown-up man already. When I went to Marfa, I didn't go to school no more. My last school days was when I promoted to the fourth grade in El Paso.
In El Paso, okay. So in the fourth grade, you were 12 years old? Or did you?
Yeah, something like that. In those days, there was a lot of difference. And besides that, I lowered down my so that my other friends could catch up with my class.
Okay, so your age was older, even though your grade
Yeah.
was.
Almost everybody's age was old. I remember seeing guys that was almost like fathers in there going to school. And they used to be up until the 8th grade.
Oh, okay. Usually that's where people graduated in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
And can you tell me we're going to talk about your education. You stopped going to school in fourth grade. When did you return to school? Whether it be school, high school, or college. When did you go back?
Well, I didn't go back until after World War II. I went to high school.
What age were you? What grade?
There was well, I started first year of high school. I don't know what grade. I don't know nothing about high school, but I started high school, so it must be the 11th grade?
Ninth grade?
The 9th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, so I was there, I would say about 2 years, full years.
Mm-hmm. And how old were you?
Including, well, that's when I had already been out of the Navy. I was 16, 18, maybe about 19 or so.
So for 19 years old, you stayed in there 2 years?
At the in school, yeah. Well, I really did stay 2 years because the Korean War broke out.
So
and they yanked me out. No, I didn't left. They picked me up. And that was the end of my El Paso Technical Institute, my cheese shop is what I was taking. And it was a quick one. And from there, let's see. Yeah, and they really took me because they even had me board a plane from El Paso, Texas to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And the same night, I was on board a train, on a troop train, going to San Diego receiving station
For the Army or for the Navy?
for the Navy and War in the Korean War.
For the Korean. So you stood in school, in high school, for about 2 years, and then you were taken out.
Yeah.
By the government, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and after that, did you return to any college or school?
Oh yeah. No, but I forgot before World War II. I did mention that after I was when my brother was drafted into the U.S. Army, he sent us to Marfa, and then from Marfa I was working around there with my father, and then I was working at the Highland Cleaners. By that time I was 16. So that's when I left Marfa to go back on my own. And then when I got to El Paso, that's when I joined the Navy. And I was 16.
Okay, so let's review. When you were about 12?
Yeah.
And 13, your parents died.
Yes.
That's when you stopped going to school in Marfa.
And then I stopped going to school in El Paso.
In El Paso.
Yeah.
Then when did you go to Marfa? Oh, okay.
Well, I've been after 13. I don't recall really how much over 13 years old because my brother was drafted and then we had to go. So it was 1940, probably 1942 or late 1942. That's when I went to Marfa.
And when did you return to El Paso?
I returned to El Paso in 1944 when I was 16 years old. That's when I joined the Navy.
Okay, so you stayed in Marfa for a few years.
Yeah.
And you didn't go to school in Marfa, you just worked?
No.
Okay. So what kind of work did you do?
Over there? Oh, I worked with, at first I was working with one of my uncles doing construction. He would do all kinds of construction.
Like and for homes, for...
Home construction. And then my other aunt saw me I was working like a musician. Oh, do you want to come stay with us instead of him? I said, yeah, I'll go there. And then I went to live with my other aunt. First it was my tia Pilar. And then I went to live with my tia Juanita, my aunt Juanita. Yeah, that was my cousin Beto and there. And from there, I started working at Highland Cleaners in Marfa, Texas. That's the place where I quit and went to El Paso when I was 16 years old.
What kind of work did you do in the cleaners?
Well, and I started as a wet wash man. You know, when the cleaners, they have different types of marks on the clothing. It could be a oil mark or a water mark. If it's a water mark, you got to scrub it with water and soap. So that's what I used to do. The ones that were watermark, I had to scrub them up, put them in the spinner, and then they'll lose the rest. But at the same time, I was also a delivery. I used to deliver the cleaners to the people. The funny thing is that I didn't have a driver license. But the boss don't care. Oh, go take that thing over there, and I would drive them. But another thing is there were no addresses in this little town. No street name, no addresses. You had to go by the Joneses, and then go by the Millers, and then go by the Juarez's, and then go on the other side of the bridge. That's the way you used to deliver the thing, and I used to.
Wow, that's interesting.
And no driver's license.
Let's see. So let's go back to your education. And you were in high school for 2 years. Then the government took you out so you can go and
Korea
for the United States. And then when you returned, did you go to college? Finish high school? What'd you do?
Well, when I came back, I wanted to go to finish high school, and then I think, well, it's just a waste of time. So I went to college.
Which one did you go to?
I went to Compton JC.
Compton? Were you at
Compton Junior College?
You didn't go to college in Texas?
No, my highest grade in Texas was in elementary school was fourth grade, and then when I came back from Korea, from World War II, I went to high school to El Paso Technical Institute, which was the high school.
Oh, okay, that's what I was confused. I thought that was a college. Okay. So then when you were at Compton Community College in California, how old were you then?
Oh, since I had been back from the 2 wars, I was about, I think I was about 20, 20 some, 24. Hmm. Let's see, 1950. I got discharged in 1952, and about 52. I must have been 20.
Okay. So how long did you stay at Compton Community College?
Oh, at first, in the first place, I was going full time to college and going full time to work,
Okay.
and I've had full time 8 little kids in there too.
Okay, well, we'll talk about them later. What kind of classes did you take at?
Well, the first time was in 1953, and I was taking industrial technology and required subjects. Uh, what that one was machine shop, and also had to take mathematics, and I also took American Political Institution, and did I mention mathematics, English? Yeah, and well, those are months. Early European history and early American history, and those are the ones I can remember. In the first year that was in the Compton College.
How long did you stay at Compton?
Well, the first time or the second time?
Oh, you went back twice.
Yeah, because the first time I was still working the good year, and it was doing real good, but then we had to go on strike, so I had to withdraw from Compton College and go over there, pick oranges, and all that. I had to bring money to the family. So finally the strike was over, and I started working again, and everything was doing fine, but I wanted to get into the machine shop, and so I finally decided to go back into Compton College. This time I took, the machine shop too.
So how long were you in college the first time?
Oh, 53, you can say that 53, 54 years. And then,
So 1 year?
yeah, and then from 63 to 64.
You went back to Compton Community
Yeah.
College, the same one? And how long did you stay there?
Well, I was going to be there longer, but I think it's only about half a semester because I had a quarrel with Goodyear because they told me, the big man told me, even if you get your AA, I will not put you to work in the machine shop, not even as a cleaner or nothing. So I said to myself, well, and I have been there at Goodyear working a few years already. And I said, well, if this company, which I've been working so many years already, and even in the unit contract that we have the first choice when there's any openings in there, being uh, that you're a veteran and working for Goodyear, you have the first choice, but they still violated that. They didn't give me the job, even though I was, I still got 17 and a half credit units at the Compton College. But anyhow, when he told me that, even if I did get it, so I said, well, I might as well forget it.
And this was your boss at Goodyear?
Yeah, one of the bosses, yeah. The interviewer.
So you just didn't go anymore?
I withdrew from school again.
And what year was that?
1963.
And have you gone back?
No, right now I guess I don't need it. Well, I took blacksmithing and I graduated on that. And
what year did you take that?
That was in 1992 when I graduated on that. Well, it's good, but I guess my time is not too much to be started, even though I could, but still gotta need quite a capital, even though I open up my own shop. But then the first day was real good. I made about 20, 30 bucks on the first day, but after that, zero for the whole month. So I shut down shop and closed down.
So it's a blacksmith courses?
Locksmith.
Locksmith courses, and you did get your certificate?
Oh, yeah, I graduated.
Okay. Let's talk about the first war in the 1940s. Can you tell me a little bit about how old you were when World War II started?
When World War II started, I was that was in 1941. I was about uh, 13 years old.
13. Okay. And what do you recall about that time when you started hearing about the
Yeah, I recall. I recall that all the teachers in school were talking about it on the Monday after that. What the Japanese had done, and
which was?
they attacked Pearl Harbor without any provocations, and well, it was not only Japan, but the Germans and Italians were tied up together with them. But those are the ones that caused the harm, direct harm to the United States.
And what did you feel or think when you first heard about that?
Oh, I said, well, it real terrible, but I didn't have any thoughts of ever being part of a World War II force, and but I did, even though I fibbed about my age, and I told them I was 18
Who did you tell?
at the draft board. Well, first I thought it was easy. I said, well, I just I just go and volunteer and say, yeah, okay. Well, you get one more year before you can turn 17. And then they says, well, when you turn 17, you bring your parents with you so they can sign for you, and then you can join the Navy. But due to the fact that my parents were no longer here, I said that would be impossible, and I had to use some kind of a strategy to get into the Navy. So my next step was to go to the Navy and tell them that I turned 18. And I was kind of tall, even though get a baby face, but I was tall. And they believed me. So he said, oh, well, when do you want to be sworn in? Or, completely checked in to be in the armed forces. And I says, right now. And the lady says, man, I see a lot of people coming here crying. They want to go in here, and they don't want to go in. And here you come in here, want to say, right now. And this is, you mean immediate induction? Yes, immediate induction. Okay, it'll be. So in 3 days, I was sworn in and all this and that. I raised my hand, and took my test, and passed it. One thing is that some of the other guys were high school graduates, and they didn't pass the test. And I only had fourth grade education. First, it was on the freshers. I was good in freshers, and then passed them like flying colors.
So help me understand. Remember when you told me that when you first heard about the Pearl Harbor, you didn't automatically think, "Oh, I'm gonna go fight for my country," but here you were trying to get in. Help me understand what made you really want to go and volunteer.
Well, after time went by, I saw my brother went in and fight for the country, and then when I was in Marfa, still young, before I joined the Navy, all my cousins they were going. My other cousin was going to the Navy, the Army, the Marines, the Seabees, and I said, "Man, I got to get into it too." So
Did
that
they volunteer, or were they of age and?
my cousin, I know he volunteered, and the other ones I don't know if they're drafted or whatever. And but I said, no, I got to put my 2 cents in there too, and I got it. And that's why I quit, and I got my thoughts of being into the military at that time, which was different than before, because at that time I didn't even know beans from apple, about this or about that. So I just think this happened and this happened, but you in that space of when I quit the school, and then my brother got drafted, and then I was in Marfa, and all my cousins were being drafted and volunteering to the Navy. I says, I got to do it, do my part. That's why I did it.
What did your family or friends think about you serving?
Well, they all thought it was real good.
So you served in which wars?
I was serving in World War II from 1944 to 1952. And then, and after that, there was a space in there. But when I went and re-enlisted in the U.S. Naval Reserve, and in 1950 during the Korean War, I was recalled back into active duty. So I was recalled in 1950, and I was discharged in 1952.
So those were the two conflicts that you were involved in.
Yeah.
So what branch did you enroll in?
Oh, well, on the first time, if I could bring it on the first time of World War II, uh, when I finished training, and I thought I was going to be shipped overseas right away with the other ones, and it so came that they wouldn't send me overseas. They said, "No, no, you wait, and I was going training, extra training up there in Camp Elliott in San Diego. I was not in the Naval Training Station no more. I was in Camp Elliott where they had to have Marines and have Navy. And they kept on training me some more. I said, there's a war going on. I got to go over there. No, no, no. But then I heard by some of the grapevines says, well, I hear that if you go AOL and then stay some time out there and then come back, they'll get you and ship you right away.
If you go AWOL.
Yeah. So I said, well, that's my chance. One of the days I jump over the fence and I got my little briefcase and I was hitchhiking to El Paso.
From where?
From San Diego, from the Naval Reserve training station. No, not the training station. I was already in Camp Elliott. From Camp Elliott, I hitchhiked all the way to Texas. It was a little funny on the way. You would like to hear that. Okay, I was hitchhiking and right away the shore patrol, when they see you with a handbag, they say, "Oh, where's your papers and all this and that?" And I go, "Well, I got no papers. I'm on liberty." He said, "Yeah, but you're only supposed to be on a 50-mile radius, and I was away from the radius." And I said, "We're gonna do." Excuse me. I'm gonna give it a chance. So I took out my ID card, put in a big envelope, put a big sale on it, and says, "You're gonna go back aboard. Back to your station, and hand this envelope to the I forgot what they call the Navy the Navy officer on I forgot what they call him. Well, to your Navy commander in that station." So I said, "Okay. So we're gonna drive you back to the freeway, or back to the highway. There were no freeways then, and then you start hitchhiking to San Diego." Okay, so all right, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. So as soon as I saw that car went out there, I walked a few miles. Heck, I walked on the other side. I thought I was going back to El Paso, and on the little envelope they put my ID card and all this. And it says, "This man is over the limit of the boundaries. That's all. He's not making any violation now." So I wrapped that thing. I put my thing back on and hitchhiked to El Paso.
And what year was this?
1940. I think it was 1944.
Okay.
The same year.
So you made it all the way back to Texas?
Yeah, but on the way, one guy gave me a ride down to some place in Arizona, and then I was stranded right there. And then another lady gave me a ride all the way through. She was going all the way through to somewhere in I forget that the lower state in Florida. So she gave me a ride, and then she had a little baby and cried in the back. So I went in there, and she would stop over here in this place. "Oh, you want a hamburger?" She would get off of there and buy coffee and hamburgers. So okay, take care of the baby, and I'll bring you hamburgers. No, I thought, wait, it was real good all the way down. They thought that I was her husband or lover, and they would start laughing because they had a little gringo boy, and they would not, "Hey, that's not your boy." I said, "I know it ain't." Anyhow, so I got me the whole ride over there, and I thank her and all this and that. I got to El Paso, and then I ran out of money going to visit everybody. Oh, hey, Navy and this and that. So I had no more money. I said, how am I going to go back to the base? I was very terrified. So I went, oh, you click on the button. I'll do the same thing, but this time I'll join the Army. That's when I joined the Army.
So you were enlisted with the Navy.
Yeah, I was in the Navy.
And you went to go register for the Army.
And I went and
re-enlisted
in the U.S. Army while I was still in the Navy.
And why did you do that?
I had no money to come back to San Diego. I said, well, see how it works. I went over there, and then I was on the train to Camp Cape Roberts, California. I was almost completing my infantry training. In fact, I had already put in to be put in with a group that was going to be going to Fort Benning, Georgia for paratrooper. I volunteered for that too. But one of the days, I got a call from the company commander. It says, "Hey, Juarez." I know at that time I was Soto. Hey, Soto, the old man wants to see you. He said, okay, I'll be right there. So I went over there and says, hey, Private Soto, I'm going to ask you one question. Do you know a man in the Navy, a sailor named Ruperto Soto Juarez? And I say, yes, sir, I am him. Oh, man, that's all I wanted to know. Go back over there and then continue the training. And so he knew all that now. Okay. And well, I continued the training. No more Fort Benning, Georgia. And then finally the day came. And yeah, I had the sharpshooter from shooting the gun and all that. Oh, I remember when I was taking the training on the hand grenade throwing. I already knew about the hand grenade and all that. So I was the captain, the sergeant, and the they call it non-coms over there, the one that tells you how to do things. They say, okay, when you grab this hand grenade, in the first place, the hand grenade has 48 little pieces in it, representing the 48 states. Anyhow, so you hold it on your but I had it in my right hand still. You hold it in your left hand, and then you see a clip, a little pin, and then a clip. Okay, when you get ready, we give you the order. You will pull the clip. Knowing this, but I hit it on my left hand. I pull the clip. Everybody pull the clip, and then they says, "Okay, throw it." But they didn't know that I was already this training in the Navy. It's what the heck? I got it on my left hand. So I had already pulled the clip and threw it away, and everybody, man, I changed hands, and man, everybody hit the ground. Oh, and the captain, they hitting the dag, everybody. And I says, man, what's wrong? So then I switched the thing, and then swung the thing at the target, and I counted like in the movies, 1, 2, 3, and I docked. Everybody was down there already, and man, I didn't know that I got everybody's carried without even knowing. It was in the Navy, but I already knew about the hand grenade throwing, but they didn't know that I knew. Anyhow, they got a little scolding on there, and then again after that is when I was called back to the captain's office, and they had a military policeman and a Navy shore patrol. They were going to escort me back to the Navy. Oh, man, what a name.
So what happened after they put you back into the Navy?
Well, I put back into the Navy, and I could have won the case, but I knew nothing about it. Anyhow, I was there in confinement for, I think, 30 or 45 days. And then after that, bingo, I got over to admit. I said, hey, I won. I'm going to see you guys over there. Yeah. Right after I got my 35 days confinement, said, bow, out. overseas.
So overseas, that's what you
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
And so that is that the reason why you enlisted
In the army, yeah,
in
yeah.
the army so you can go fight overseas?
Yeah, see, because they say if you go AWOL, when you come back, they'll ship you overseas. And that's what I did. I went over there and come back. Even though I didn't desert it, they tried to get me deserted. How can he be deserted? Jump from one and this and that. He can get his butt killed on their side or on this side. So they threw it out the table and that. I was just, there was nothing. And
So off you went. So where were you stationed when, or, yeah, I guess it's stationed. Where were you stationed when you went overseas?
well, I was stationed in San Diego, but when I on the way to overseas, we stopped in Hawaii.
What were you on?
In fact, I don't even remember it because I was on 4 or 5 different ships. I don't know if it was one of was a aircraft carrier, and the other one's the army troop train. But I think first in San Diego it was some kind of a vessel. I forget which one it was. But anyhow, when we docked on there, we couldn't go aboard because we're gonna be going. Everybody had orders to go, so we only were there, and we could see out the hula hula on the on the dock doing hula hula hula. Hey boy, everybody going crazy. Hey, you look, grass curves and all. Oh man. And they said, okay, we're chopping off the same day. I said, what a bummer.
Can you tell me what it was like in your division? Like, did you get along with the people or the other servicemen?
Oh yeah, especially when I was in the training. Heck, well, especially on the inspection, the captain was real angry at the other about 10 or 15 other Navy men because they failed their inspection. And he was coming to mine, and he saw it, man, everything right to the nail. And he called all of them and said, look here, you, I don't know what they call them, come over here and look at what is this display over here. That's exactly the way you gotta do it. He was pissed off at the whole company. Wow. And come around and learn, ask him how he does this and that, because I want you to be doing the same thing on the next inspection. Yeah. And by the way, nobody's going to go to get Liberty over the weekend because the only one who's going there is Juarez. Well, that was fun. I said, I made out. Yeah, but we used to call him, say, I don't know if he was a company commander. I said, there's only one problem, Commander. I spent all my money already. Said, don't worry. I'll lend you money and pay you. Pay me right back. All right. So deal was made, and there was a good point. And also when we were in the barrack, people used to go all black and white and Mexican. They used to go around me because they say I was so funny when I was talking. I would make things over there. In fact, I remember one time that I said, "What are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm an Indian." And then I said, I put I sit down. Just sit down.
No, go ahead. You can stand up.
Yeah. Well, I stood up like this one and put my hand like it was a feather. And I started going, hiya, 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 all around the place. And man, everybody laughing and said, see, I'm a real genuine Indian. And then stuff like that I would do, and they would always go down there and just to talk to me to see what I would say. And yeah, I had a bunch of friends around there.
So everybody got along.
Oh yeah.
That's good. And how about being on the ship?
Oh, but I think I forgot one thing more on from World War II. It's I remember we're in barracks in Guam. It's a real hot place, but we used to have Quonset huts.
What were they?
Quonset huts instead of regular buildings. They were king huts, something like that. They were around like that. Okay, so where was Yeah. Well, they used to have Army, Navy, and Marines in the same area, so we were all using the same showers in there, and then just put a towel over his head and go walking bare butt all the way to the house. It was coming. There were no women there, no nothing. So that was, and let me see. Oh yeah, and we also used to kid with one another. Well, one of these guys did something to me, and I forgot what it was, but I remember what I did to him. And what I did is, when it's time you're asleep, and I had wood floors and that caused it hot. The uh, the shoes were right there. I went and got me a big hammer and nailed these shoes on the floor. So when he got like this, there one right there, and then when it's time to get up, tried to get up and he couldn't move. I had him nailed on the floor, and then he, oh, I know who that is. No, it wasn't me.
So you played
Stuff like that. Yeah, yeah,
each other, and
yeah.
so there weren't any problems.
No, no problems at all.
Okay, let's stop.
The shoes on the floor. Well, another time too, I know it was nighttime. I was gonna go sleep on. We used to have a mosquito net because mosquito were like that. So I opened the mosquito net and went there to sleep like that. And I put my head on the pillow. I hear a big. They put a frog on my pillow. I said, I know who the heck that is. So what I did, I went tippy toe, raised up his net like that. And from where my bunk is, I throw in and cover up everything. I had when the frog hit the other guy, he went. The guy get up there and he looked around. Oh, you're looking like that. I see who done it. I was ready to sleep.
Must have been hard not to laugh, huh? So you beamed it in the head with the frog?
Yeah, I threw.
So it's all you had a good time.
Yeah.
Wow. So you got along really good. So what, you were stationed in Guam for a little while?
Yeah, I was stationed in Guam for 2 years.
Okay. And after that, what happened? You returned?
Well, I was waiting for the point system because when you had enough points, then you'll be eligible to be coming home for separation. So what I was doing every morning, we get ready to go into the main office and look at all that huge name lists that were over there. And what we were doing, all our group, our Chicano group, we got together and would pick up a collection, and whomever was leaving, we're giving that money. And it would be from 50 to $75. So that's the way it was going. When they were ready to go, okay, pick up the collection. Well, I got $50 anyhow. And them days it was pretty good, $50. So that was a farewell. When we did leave
was that
Guam.
was that like your bon voyage party?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And the Chicanos went and did that for each other?
Oh, yeah. Remember what the Chicanos, I remember right after World War II when they dropped those 2 bombs in Nagasaki, we celebrated on a Friday. Boy, there was one guy with 3 strings and he playing the guitar and all of us singing. Some guy used to work at the mess hall. There would been big tops, eyes, and we had beer that we saved for the whole week. And people that didn't drink, we put them in there. Man, we're singing and drinking and joking and laughing. The Kawashi would come by, hey, look at those Mexican men. They really know how to celebrate. And now they would just keep on going, and we're all stuck together, and we really had a real good time.
So you have $50 in your pocket for your bon voyage party. What did you do when you returned from World War II?
No, I in World War II. I came over here, and on top of that, I got my mastering out pay. That time was $300 on top of the money that I had from for those 2 years I was over there.
How old were you when you returned?
Well, I got here at 16. I was 18. So I really celebrated for 3 days. From Tijuana, San Diego, Los Angeles, and I finally got a Puma, and I got to El Paso, and I didn't have time to celebrate. I had already did my celebrate for 3 days, non-stop.
So once you finished your partying celebration, what did you do when you got back to El Paso?
Well, I got back to El Paso, say hello to my wife, and then I went to Marfa, Texas, and I visited all my aunts and everybody. And then one of them said, "Oh, let me." I told him I'm gonna lay for the couch in about 30 minutes or so like that. I laid on the couch, and then when I woke up, I said, "Hey, where's my tia Juanita?" I said, "Well, she went home. You slept for the whole 24 hours straight." He said,
Wow.
"Oh, that's why she left." And no, I had real good with my all my aunts and all that. What I did after World War II, then I went back to El Paso and asked my girlfriend Lupe, she wanted to get married, and she said yes. So I guess we got in a car and went all the way. We took the bus to Las Cruces, New Mexico. We took our witness and but I think the judge was not there. We had to go looking for him all over the place. We finally find him shooting pool. Okay, he went and got us married and all that. So we came back, and on the way back, I was kind of shy, and I would tell my mom, my wife, once more soda, coffee. And then she said, "Hey, he said, do you have any money?" But because the witness is getting very hungry, I said, "Boy, good thing she said it because I was hungry too, but I was shy." And he said, "Okay, the first thing when there, we stopped right there, man. We ate and ate and ate, and it was real good after that. But I was loaded with money at that time.
So why did you have to, or why did you go to take the bus all the way to New Mexico instead of just getting married in Texas?
Oh, I don't know. It just feel like you want to get married, you can marry outside of the city, like over here. Sometimes you might want to go to Vegas or
So you could have gotten married,
yeah,
but you wanted to go somewhere different, make it special.
yeah, Las Vegas, yeah.
Oh,
Not Las Vegas, but it was Las Cruces.
yeah. Okay. So you got married when you came back. How old were you when you got married?
Oh, 18 something. Because I got married the same month that I got discharged from the Navy in 1946, June something.
How did World War II change your life?
Well, it changed my life because while I was going over there, I would see these huge corporations and huge parking lots. So I was going by there on the train and then on the bus, and I said, "So one of these days I'm going to be working for one of the big companies, and my car will be parked in the parking lot." Well, that was my thinking. So it did to happen. Not the first time, but the second time I came to California. The first time I did come to LA and I started working over here, but I broke a finger and I got laid off. So I went back to El Paso and I said, "Oh, the heck with LA." And that's when I went to El Paso Tech and I learned this stuff and that. And besides that, I also went to a job because the job was cheap in El Paso. So I went to East Chicago, Indiana to work for the Inland Steel Company. It's a huge company. Man, I never seen a company so huge. Yeah. Anyhow, they had their own jail and everything. So yeah, I was a pipe fitter helper. So I was gonna be a pipe fitter within 6 months. But then, you're young and you got homesick and my wife was pregnant with your mom and he said, "No, heck no, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna tell the boss all that. I'm gonna quit." He said, "Okay, I'll give you the check and everything." I said, "Look, they mail the money back over here, and I forgot to save money for me to come back. Enough money." So that's what I hit another obstacle. So with the money I had to hitchhike all the way from East Chicago, Indiana to Joliet, Illinois. That's where I could get the bus, and I have enough money to take me all the way to Dallas, Texas. So that's what I did, and when I got an appointment, told my wife to send me some money over there to Dallas, Texas to the Greyhound bus station. He said, "But where? Where's the money?" "I'm being led yesterday." He said, "No, ain't here, but it was a pipeline. He couldn't get it. She got it somewhere. I know." And then when I got there to before that, did mention the other thing that happened? Yeah, while I was hitchhiking to Joliet, I didn't get a single ride, so I went to sleep under the sun, under the lights and stars and all that. And then in the morning, what woke me up is the car was splashing water on the highway. That what woke me up. I said, "Hey, what the heck?" I got up. I still didn't know nothing. I was all dry, nothing, and then I was feeling the grass all around me was all soaking wet, all of it soaking wet. And man, I could feel goose pimples all over the body, and then jitters going down my spine. Everything, and then just touch my suitcase is dry, my shoes dry, and everything was wet all the way around. So I said, "Oh man, something must have been something must have happened over here. It rained and now it's dry." Anyhow, then I was still wet. I didn't even go in the wet or nothing. I just stayed in the same dry spot where I slept. Pretty soon he comes, parks right in front where I'm at. He said, "Hey, young man," he says, "do you want to drive me to Joliet, Illinois? I'm too damn drunk to drive." He said, "Oh, sure, that's where I'm going." So I'm driving all the way to Joliet, Illinois. He got where he wanted, and I went to the bus station, and all this took over. And then when I got to Dallas, Texas, I got down, picked up my money from the credit union, bought the ticket, and was on the same bus, came back to El Paso. And I was happy. Your mom had seen it for I don't know how many months. It looked like years anyhow. And then, yeah, there was that experience.
Okay, so then what kind of work did you do once you got returned to your wife? And tell me about any, types of things that were going on in terms of work. Once you got back to El Paso, did you do any work there?
Yeah, let's see. I was I was working on with construction with Robert E. McKee, and then I was working with some also construction, but with heating and plumbing outfit. And then what else we had? And no, do I have? Yeah, I think after that probably that's when I recall it. That was the time that I came back to LA because I was here before. But then I came back after the Korean War, and this time I stayed in LA.
Well, let's talk about the Korean War now. What were you doing right before the Korean War?
Oh, I was in the Paso Technical Institute taking industrial technology.
Okay, and then that's when they yanked you out, huh?
That's when I was yanked out of college. I mean, the high school, and put on a plane, and I was flown to Albuquerque, New Mexico, for the final examination. And the same night, I was on the way to the San Diego receiving station. And after that, of course, I was helping to get the USS Wiseman out of the mothballs.
What does that mean?
You know, when the ships are not active, they put them off. They take everything off, and they have like a like a ghost town, but it's ships. They're already there, and to get them out of the mothball, they got to bring them up and redo everything and check everything to see if they're seaworthy and all that. And that's what it did, And we were even taking that ship out on the on trial runs. They would drop depth charges in there and to see if it was still like that. And I remember I was down in the fireroom, working the fireroom, and the 3 or 4 blasts didn't do nothing. But then the fourth one, man, there was water leaking all over the thing. Then right away, call them out, hey, there's water leaking all over the fireroom. And everybody got, okay, they said, cease firing, no more depth charges. So then we came back and repair what damage was, and then vámonos to Korea.
So you were on the USS Wiseman?
Yeah, that's was with Korea.
And how did you get along with people on the ship then?
Well, at first, see, everyone aboard ship was reserve. They had been in before, and they were a lot from Texas. Oh, there was a lot of fighting with all the crew. Okay. Nobody knew anybody, and some would think, oh, okay, this and that. Well, anyhow, the one of the example that I had one time was when I was in Korea. I remember I went down to one of the nightclubs out there, and I was talking with another fella, and all of a sudden somebody picked me up by the back of the hack. I thought somebody was playing. He said, "Hey, why are you playing?" And there was one big, heavy guy that used to pick up the depth charger with his hand instead of using the winch. He picked up, "Shut up, you damn Mexican!" He picked me up and said, "Hey, but what did I do it?" Bah, bah, bah. I hit me all over the place. Yeah. I didn't know what score, man. Next thing I knew I said, I better act like I passed out already. So that's what I did. And heck, I was almost passed out. I laid flat on the floor, and everybody was saying, ooh, and ahs, but nobody helped. And finally, when I pretended that I was fainted, he quit punching me in the but I still had my hand like that. So here was clear, but here, man, I was like that. So I look at it, and then he picks him up, and I was still groggy like the wrestlers when they slam him all over the face. And then he picked me up from the jumper, and then it ripped all the way up to the neckerchief. And then I started waking up, and I see blood here and here, And well, I started on that. I took off my jacket. You had to take off my jacket. I thought I didn't take it far enough. I'm fast enough, and thought he'd come around and beat me some more up. But I finally got it off, and man, I started running after him. And then I thought he was gonna fight he started kicking like a girl, man. And every night he hit me, come kick, man. I was jabbing all over the place, and he started running, and I was right behind him. Every now and then he'd turn around and hit me. He flipped me up, and I landed on my feet, and right after him again. And I was hitting, and he ran away like a scared chicken. And then he jumped on the platform like where I have the movies or acting and all that. Okay, so he jumped on top of it, and I said, I want to go. While jumping in, he kicked me on the face. So I kept the distance, and I said to him things that his mother would never think of me saying to him. And then and I stood there to see if I could get man enough to come down. No, I told him, come down and fight like a man. Don't be like a coward up there. And then one of his friends, a gunner's mate, a third-class gunner's mate, he was, hey, well, you can be telling that to my friend. And then, but there was a guy of my friends holding him. He said, no, he got enough with one over there. And I said, oh, go ahead, let him come. I got enough for both of them cowards. So he said, sure. He let him out. As soon as he got him in, I let him, bang, he went flowing right there. And I kept talking to the other guy, cussing the heck out of him. And then I was keeping an eye on the guy because, like in the movie, you just come crawling behind me. So I was talking blah, blah, and all this time with this other guy. And finally, this guy was trying to get up, but I just made sure that he was up about this far apart from me from getting up. And then when he did get up, I hit him right in the face. Boy, this time he was shaking like that. His leg was saying, no, don't hit me no more. And when this fat guy saw what I did to the little one, he said, somebody give me a gun. I'll shoot that damn Mexican. Oh, man, I and then my other Mexican too blew up. He said, "Man," I took a big knife. He says, "For those words that you just said, and for beating me up with no cause, and for cussing at me, and now you want to get a gun to shoot me. Well, since you started it, I'm gonna finish it, and I'm gonna make hamburger out of you." So I started walking him in. I think
Go ahead.
yeah, I think he got so scared. But at that time, the Roberto came and patted me on both shoulders, and they had already heard the story of what happened, and they cut me off. They couldn't give me a jacket while I turned around and beat them too. So anyhow, they were real polite and quiet and all that. So he said, "Yeah, we know what these two cowards have done. So just cool off, put on your peacoat, and go aboard ship. No problem. And put on your head." And, yeah, I couldn't even put my head on. My head was all swollen. He said, "Well, anyhow, don't put it on. Go like your excuse anyhow." So I went over there, and yeah, for the near future, they were known as the cowards of the ship.
So were there a lot of problems like that between Mexicans and other people, or was it just everybody didn't like everybody, or
No, everybody didn't like everybody.
plus it was
Only maybe one or two, as you might say, KKs. But everything was swell. After that, everybody knew. So, and every time this guy went by me or I went by him, he jumped 3 feet away. Yeah.
did you serve in any of the civilian conservation camps, the CC camps?
No.
Okay. In your opinion, what were the changes in the lives of Mexicans in the decades following the war, both World War II and then Korea? Did it change?
Well, the main thing is that we had more of a chance to go and get an education, and at this time there were more job opportunities instead of like before that you always used to get the scrap. You could still get the scrap, but not as much as before, and you could be denied like as much as before, or that kind of stuff. But this time was a little different because you could get better jobs, and there were more jobs available, and at the same time you went to school, and that helped some more.
Did you face any difficulties in your work because you were a Mexican American?
Oh yeah, a lot of them because well, especially with Goodyear, even though I was there for almost 24, 25 years, but there was some good jobs in there, but I would usually bypass them because if I had enough time to get the job, some of the bosses would go and look for some other guys. They had more time than me to come and sign the job, and even though they didn't want it, but they wanted me to get that job because even the bosses themselves used to say that I was not a bottleneck, like the rest of them, because if I would learn, I would learn. It wouldn't be like them; they would never learn. And yeah, and also for training, when to sign on, I would get another job or sign a bid for another job. They had a training minimums. For unskilled, it'd be 3 days, and for skill or something like that, it'd be either 30 days or 6 months. It all depends. But every time they got a job in there, if it was unskilled, I'd go one day and they took the help away for the other 2 days. And if you got the other one, so 30 days, they will also put me one day with the help and then take off. I had to learn by trial and error, and I would get it anyhow. And that's why they said, well, because I complained, they said, well, the reason is that you don't get the full training is because you're not a bottleneck. So,
Do you remember any racial conflicts in your community during the 1950s and the 60s?
50s and 60s? Yeah. Well, actually, it was not a conflict, but it was in 90, the night, like that did include the 1965 riots.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those days. And I also remember the National Guard truck come around there after 10 o'clock where curfew was on there, and if anybody was there, they'll turn them in, or shoot them out.
Mhm.
And
What was it like living as a Mexican American after the war?
well, to me, after World War II, I remember before I used to be talking to everybody and making fun and jokes and all that. But this time it was different. I didn't make no more jokes, no more like that. I was serious, and I wouldn't take no buts or ifs from anybody, nobody who it was. And that was a difference because at this time I knew better that especially if when some people were using you, I knew that. I could read it on the forehead. And that was the main difference that and I was more aware, more mature, more educated due to all the circumstances, and I was no more a clown as I did before.
Mhm. I see. Do you remember being involved in any organizations that were concerned for equality or the struggles for Mexican Americans or other minorities during the 50s and 60s?
Yes, it was on the 1960s, the 1963 to be correct, and that's when I joined the Mexican American Political Association.
And that was in California?
That was in California. It's a California organization, and I did a lot of help in there, a lot of volunteering, and I also learned a lot. And we uh, we used to struggle with some of the people that were deprived of their pay after they worked for it, and then other times, like in some of the farm workers, they keep on working for 1 month and 2 months, and the boss says, "Well, wait 1 more month, and you have more money, and when you go back to Mexico, you have more money." When the third man came, they called the immigration, and they came and took him, and the racers pocket the money. So finally, Mappa was very influential in bringing the law in there. So whenever they do call the immigration, you gotta pay them their money, and they did after that. Oh, we worked very closely with the with the United Farm Workers.
Mm-hmm. What other things did the organization do to help Mexican Americans?
Well, we first of all, the main thing is that to make the life of the Mexican American better than what it was at that time. And the only thing that we could do that is by helping to get Mexican Americans into office, all any kind of office, as long as they were their aims were for the betterment of the Mexican American. We would back them up, even if they were not Mexican, but if they were to follow our cause and help us on it, we would help them. And there was a lot of help that came in due to that.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me if you had any obstacles that you had to overcome?
Who had many throughout childhood and throughout my adulthood. And first of all, as I was saying, it would be at first they used to say that when you go to school or take a training or on any vocational job or whatever, if you complete that, then you can get a job anywhere. But how wrong it was, that was not it. Even if you had that or you had college degrees or whatever, you still had to swim the widest oceans and climb the highest mountains to get whatever you wanted. It was not just like it said, "Oh, you go to school and you got it like that." No, that wasn't like
Can you
that.
give me an example?
Yeah, and one of the example is that there was a journeyman electrician down in Goodyear, and he was the only certified electrician. Okay, and he spoke Spanish. His name was I forgot his name, but anyhow, he was the only qualified electrician who was certified, and but he didn't get the thing. They had him working as a cleanup man. A lot of different from being an electrician to be a cleanup man. So they kept him as a cleanup man, and then they gave him a job to be assisting the electrician, assisting them. But every time that the elevator was shut down, there was only one man that could do that job because he was the only one that was certified. And they would go running and call him to go to get the elevator in good order. So when I used to talk to him, I says, "Hey, what's the idea? I mean, you don't get the title, but every time they're getting hot water, they come and get you to go do the work." I says, "Next time they call you in there," it says, "Well, if you want me to go up there and take care of this elevator, you must give me my title. Otherwise, I won't go and do it because that is not my job." And I got the union back me up. So he did that, and then he was recognized as a full electrician. And that was one of the reasons that I said that even if you had your training or education, that didn't mean anything at all.
Could you tell me? Let's talk a little bit about your family. How old were you when you got married?
18.
And how many children do you have?
Got 4 boys and 4 girls.
And what is the name of your wife?
Guadalupe Martinez.
And where was she from?
She was from El Paso, Texas.
And how did the life of your children differ from yours?
Well, there's a lot of difference in there, and I made sure that there was a lot of difference because in my time everything was from scratch, and there was nothing like you press a button over here or you call a phone over here or turn on the light. There was nothing like that in my childhood. If you wanted to take if you want to take some light to see what you were doing, you had to go and open up that the kerosene lamp, light up, put that bombilla on top of it, and that was the only light we had. And so if we had to go to the other room, we had to take the light and go over there. Okay, that one was a hassle. Right now, you flick a thing in there and that's it. The heater, the same thing. The only heater was the stove. You had to go chop wood before you put it on there. And not only that, to get the wood, you had to go to the lumber yard, bring a big top of wood, walking, and also different things like shoes at that time. That's why I hate tennis shoes, and I hate the short pants because at that time they wouldn't have any some of those kids with long legged pants playing with a kid that had short legged pants. They are the dainty and all that kind of stuff, and there was a difference then, and also the tennis shoes. Them tennis shoes. To me, they're going. I'll never wear a pair of tennis shoes. And lately, I started wearing a little collar pants for the summer, but before, nowadays.
Aside from technology, what other changes do your sons and daughters have to do or think about compared to when you were young?
Well, first, if something was wrong in the school at that time, you couldn't do nothing. But now you can because you can talk to the teacher and this and that, and otherwise in those other days you could talk too much to the teacher because most time they couldn't even speak Spanish, and my parents couldn't speak English. There was the difference in there, And well, the jobs are better too now, anyhow. And the schools are also better. You don't learn as much now as you used to then, because the school principal and teachers are too lax.
What did it mean to you to raise a family?
Well, to me, it was well, it has always been a joy, but I remember when I was the the first baby, and then the second baby, and then the third baby, and then after that, they said, "Man, I'm gonna not only myself, but down at work. You gotta keep on. You're gonna work yourself under the table for your." Yeah, because but it gave me a lot of joy and happiness, because I was growing at the same time with my kids. Not like when you're 50 and then you have a little kid in there, you're out of whack right away. And that time I was on the same side of the fence, and that was a great thing to have enough energy to cope with all your children.
Yeah, 8. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Um, what are you currently involved in? Are you involved in any community organizations?
No, just as it was before. Nowadays, since I ran for the city council in Norwalk, but
What year?
in 1994.
Okay.
But then I sort of changed my mind, because I said I've been working with this Mexican American Political Association since for about 30 years, and I sort of slacked off a little more now, and but every now and then I would go to the city hall in Norwalk, and on the 5 minutes that we get to speak on certain topics, I uh, I speak about them, and things like that. Metropolitan Hospital, who used to be Metropolitan, but I call it a Metropolitan State Prison, because they sneaked in felons in there without the knowledge of the people that lives around there. That's why I call it a Metropolitan State Prison instead of a hospital. That's the thing that I bring up before the city council, and other other issues that will help the community. I speak about them with my 5 minutes at the city council meetings.
So you're more individual activist now compared to before when you were with the group.
Yeah, more or less.
What strides do you think Mexican Americans have made over the years?
Strikes.
Strides, like changes over the years. You mentioned some with your kids, but other things like running for office, has that changed?
Oh yeah, everything changed. Like because I said before that before you used to think that you go to school and learn about this, that was it. No, that's not it. Now you got to keep on challenging and working hard to keep what you want, even if it's if you have to fight many battles, but to get what you want, you just got to keep on fighting until you get it. If you got the education, you can get the job. All you got to do is keep on fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big difference. What problems do you think still need to be resolved when it comes to us Chicanos here?
Well, the first thing that should be resolved is let it be known that the Mexican Americans over here, as well as the Mexicans from Mexico, this is our country. Even though when we were little in school, they used to tell us otherwise, and that we used to be a lesser type of people. They call Mexican and all this, there, Greases and all that kind of stuff. That has all been, as you must say, history, and that will no longer be. Like, just take like the Dodger Stadium. Well, the Mexicans used to be there. They threw them all out. If that had been this time, they would have never done it, because we're smarter than what we were before. And even though there's a lot of Mexicans that are smart, but they are belittled, and if they do something real great, they'll put them in the newspaper in the back page and the item of a dead big, and not even a cat will read it. Like, oh, for instance, my cousin, my nephew, if I could say that, my nephew Francisco Juarez was in the Marines. They gave him his Purple Heart in the Alice of Compton. Had it been an elite person, they would have brought in the Marine band and the governor. Here, we're giving you the Purple Heart. But it was my nephew. They give him his little box in the alley of Compton. And I got in the alley of Compton because that's where they had the Naval and Marine Corps reserve station.
Do you think that relations between Chicanos and Euro Americans have improved?
Well, in the way they have, but there's a lot of European Americans. They think that they think like Hitler, KKKs and all that kind of white supremacists and all that. Those people, when I say if they don't like it here, go back to Germany. Let us live over here with the regular people that can live with each other, not kill each other. And if you don't like it here, go back to Europe.
What are some things that you've learned over the years in life and being a Chicano here that you want to share with us?
Yeah, what I have learned throughout my life is as long as you have faith in God, you can accomplish anything in Mexican or whatever race you are. Because if you don't have that, you got nothing.
Yeah, that's really, really important. Well, thank you so very much because a lot of the information I think is going to be really helpful. A lot of your stories, even though they're funny, they're going to be really great. So how old are you today?
Well, I'm pushing 73.
73?
Yes, I'll be 73 in March.
Okay. Next month?
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, because we're already in February.
Yeah. All right. Well, more memories to make. And again, thank you so much because I think a lot of younger generations are really going to learn a lot from your experience.
Yeah, and it was a pleasure for me being here and telling my story. It was a great pleasure. I hope many other people can read it and make decisions and open up the rights a little more. And we need a little more action. Really need more action. The right kind of action, not bad action, good action.
And you also have a book that you wrote. Can you tell us a little bit about that real quick?
Oh yeah, well, I wrote that book and it's named Memoirs of Ruperto Soto Juarez, and I wrote it and I published it. I guess I do because I know that much of that stuff, but it's already recorded in the Library of Congress, and later I'm gonna record it as a published book, but I haven't done that. But I got the stories from all my and you say my ancestors up to the year 1830s. You can remember, and all their doings and teachings that they showed me, and the struggles. Is from that. That's why I learned, so it wrote it, so my grandchildren will one day learn about the true story of the Mexican American or Mexicans or Indians. Because if they don't know, someone says segregation never took place in this country because they never had it. They never had it too good, and but the one that really was growing in those days, they knew everything was happening. But now they don't because everything they have is jump by the press of the button, and they have no obstacles, either going to school or this and that because they got the computers and calculators. They don't have to worry about counting no more. We did. We had to do everything from scratch, and well, also I wrote about all my adventures, which they're not all in there, but most of them, or the one that I could remember, and also remember when I used to say when I was in the Navy, I would never be aboard another ship unless I would be in a steamer, open sea. And I remember that when I was in the Mediterranean, when I went down to Rome. Oh, but I like to travel, and I put that in my book too because let me see, by the age 13, no, age 16, I had already, I'll make it 18. I had already been in a lot of Western states, Mexico, and then Hawaii and Japan, Korea, Guam, and after that in Korea, I went to Panama, Florida. I was over in the Caribbean Sea and the other seas. It jumped all the way over to New York and Spain and the last one was Rome, and I had very very many experiences in Rome because I never knew had seen them, and at first it was only a way story that I never thought I would ever be in Spain visiting a foreign land as I did when I went to Spain and in Rome.
Great. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it.
Okay.